YouTube, what is good? It is your man Matt from Caught of the Red Barrel back at you with another video this evening. This unfortunately is the second time I've had to record this video due to problems with my recording software, which have now fortunately been solved. So fingers crossed what you are seeing and hearing is the definitive version of the beginning of this playthrough. So I don't know whether or not you know what this is, but this is the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis Classics, depending on which side of the pond you're from. I have one game for this, and you could argue there is only one real game for this, and it is Streets of Rage 2. So without too much further ado, we are going to go ahead and start a Let's Play on this fantastic stone cold classic game from the 90s. Game close to my heart and a game close to probably many people's hearts over the years. Side-scrolling beat 'em up that was released for home consoles only and not released in the arcades. So let's go right ahead and start a one-player match. I'm going to pick Axel because I'm dull like that, and let's get right into it. So here we are in our pretty typical kind of 80s stroke 90s gang-infested city. That was a bit of a waste. Yeah, this is a game I played half to death when I was a wee youth. Yeah, an absolutely fabulous piece of home gaming history, home console video gaming history. A game that took an awful lot of cues. I don't want to say plagiarised because that may not be fair, but certainly took an awful lot of cues from a Capcom title that was big in the arcades in the late 80s and early 90s called Final Fight. I think if I was genuinely honest, I do think that Final Fight is probably a better game. Well, if I was to choose, I would rather play Final Fight than this. But this is remarkable for a few reasons. You know, it was quite innovated on a lot of the concepts that Final Fight originally laid out. The music is just so on point, it's not even funny. The music is just so good in this title and its predecessor Streets of Rage 1, bearing in mind that this is the second in the series. The music is just simply legendary. And graphically, I think, you know, for the Mega Drive, for the capabilities of the Mega Drive, which I think most people will admit were considered to be inferior to the Super NES, this really was one of the, you know, the kind of the titles that really pushed the Mega Drive to its absolute limit, I think, at the time. Just stylistically, it's just, everything's so right about it. So, yes, a fabulous, fabulous game. So it was only right when I noticed it. I kind of noticed that I had it. I'd almost forgot that I had it, like, in my Steam collection, and thought that would be brilliant for a Let's Play. So, yeah, here we are. I think it's going to be challenging because essentially you have two continues and no more. Now each of those continues comes with 3 lives. When you play through the early stages of the game, it's all good in the sense that, you know, you pick up extra lives as your score goes up, which is fine. But then later on in the game, you lose a lot of lives very easily to the multiple tough enemies that there are later on in the game. Like some of the enemies, the standard enemies on I think the final level, or getting towards the final level, are essentially bosses in their own right. So it becomes a really stiff challenge. That was stupid, wasn't it? Some grand up and down your face, Jackie boy. Here we are with the music. The music is just so good. Timeless. That I can right now before it disappears off screen into some kind of black hole, never to be found again. Stupid that was. Now, if I'm right, and perhaps somebody can confirm this for me, I'm sure I heard something about somebody doing a HD remake of this game. Now, as I understand it, there was some kind of legal problems with Sega or whoever had said that essentially this can't be published, it damages our IP or whatever nonsense. But they'd done, somebody, a group of people, had essentially taken this game's source code and laid a brand spanking new HD skin over the top of it and made it look fantastic and up to date. But it never really saw, the light of day in the sense of getting any kind of commercial release, and was almost internet folklore. I've never seen it. Perhaps after I finish doing this, I will go and have a look for it on the internet. But yeah, I mean, I remember one of my top purchases on PS3 was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, where they'd essentially taken the mechanics of Street Fighter 2 Turbo and completely updated it for kind of modern graphics, and that was brilliant. So this game totally needs that. It annoys me that somebody might have turned around and gone, well, that's our IP, get off it, essentially copyright and blah blah blah. Especially if fans are taking the time to, lavish care and attention on manufacturing it. So that's a real disappointment. So let me know in the comments if you know anything about the HD remix or remake or whatever you want to call it of this particular game. Let's get a good paste in before he hits me with that roundhouse. When it comes to boss fights, it's essentially just a grand upper fest. Just grand upper until they're damn near dead, or actually dead. It hits multiple times. And yeah, stops them in whatever action they're about to knock out. There you go. Nice and simple. And that is level 1 down. I think I'm going to try and make it through about 3 levels. Like I said, this is the second time I've done this now, due to some aforementioned video problems, which should now be dealt with. After having spent quite a long time on video capture forums and messing around. So hopefully that is done and dealt with, and I can record in whatever resolution I like. So that is good. Now, as I remember, this level is these annoying motorbikes. So let's just try and plough through it, because this is not my favourite level. I've got to be honest. At the moment, we're not seeing too much enemy variation, but you don't, kind of early on in the game. I mean, you could argue you don't really at all. It's all palette swaps and stuff, but, that was how games were back then. I certainly won't look down on it for that. Stupid, isn't it? Wasting my time. Really should have thought that. Nice little touches when you look out from, like, obviously everyone is essentially a palette swap of another character, but some of them have like series names. Like these guys on the bikes here, they all have like names related to the whatever the weather, like kind of wind, gale, storm, typhoon, and so on and so forth. It's pretty cool. Nice little thing to notice. I think another set of enemies are all named after different types of birds and stuff. So I've got no idea what a Galsia is, so don't ask me. So that's good. Absolute hurricane kick off those bikes. For flip's sake. Grand upper into the boat race. What am I doing? Swiping at thin end. Oh, for God's sake. There are some like little cheeky little max damage combos you can do. Even with a side scrolling beat 'em up like this. Which is pretty cool. But I don't think I'm going to have opportunity to do one now. Oh, maybe I will. Kind of. Like the standing jump kick like that hits twice if you're close enough, so you can like essentially do a full combo aside from the last hit and then do a standing jump kick and it will do extra damage. So, little cheeky tip. I think this is the first time we see this particular type of enemy. It becomes much more prevalent later on in the game. I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to be, but oh. Falafel, thank you very much. Back in the good old days where any type of food equaled instant health recovery. Oh, you got leukemia? Yeah, I have this turkey that's been hidden inside a bin. A little cheeky bit of knowledge there that there's an extra life up there. Good memory, man. Alright, slappers. What the hell? That's not fair. Cashola? What does cash actually do? Is it just for your score? Oh, I guess the higher you score, the more extra lives you're likely to get, right? So we're already up to 6, which is good. We want to, ideally, if possible, keep that as high as possible going into the last few levels, because the you know, some of the later bosses become, you know, are literally undefeatable without losing at least some lives. So ideally, we want to keep it as, you know, in these early stages, losing as little life as possible. This guy, pretty much, you just got to bait him out to do that, and then hit him with a grand upper if you can actually hit him with it. Like so. Just get in front of him in a lateral firing line, if you like, and then just hit the grand upper until he's dead. Don't let him get close to you, because he will grab you, and that could be the end of you. There you go. Nice and simple. We are through another level. Another section of town can sleep happily in its bed tonight, safe from the scourge of Mr. X and his cronies. Now this has got to be, categorically got to be the best piece of video game music ever made. Dreamer. I mean, shout outs to the music team for this game, they just got it so right. I mean, most of it is like a weird sort of Euro techno pop type of affair, but I mean, even so, it just suits it so much. Yeah, and this particular piece of music is one that I've always loved. It's an interesting little map factory. I used to be in bands, played guitar and bass and sang in bands and blah blah blah, written music, etc, etc. And once I wrote an entire song based on this song, like, so the entire melody was based on this, so the lyrics kind of followed the melody. Never saw the light of day, unfortunately, but that's how much I really enjoy this piece of music. So yeah, a bit disappointed that never became anything really. Would have been pretty cool. Geek. I mean, that is about as nerdy as it comes, but hey ho, I don't profess to be anything else. Yeah, it was called Bare Knuckle in Japan, wasn't it? Another one of those weird things like Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, sorry, Resident Evil, and Bison from Street Fighter, in the sense that they changed the name for the West for reasons that the rest of us can only guess at. Peculiar. But yeah, so in Japan this would be Bare Knuckle. So to all the Japanese out there, konnichiwa, sorry to that. Free game da na. Demo tanoshi da. Making some nice progress to the arcades here, where all of a sudden it all turns into a weird pirate ship for reasons unknown. I'm sure it makes sense in this city. Fiddly to get the weapon throw thing right. Well, I'm using a pad, obviously. And you need to hit 2 buttons at the same time, but the way it's set up, and I haven't bothered to go in and change the buttons, just figured out what they were and started playing. Yeah, it's like the shoulder button is jump, like, you know, like your R1 button on the PS4 pad or whatever. So it's a bit of a weird setup, really. So then doing the motion to get them to throw something is it's a bit strange, difficult to achieve. Let's just do a slap fest on this guy. You can just keep slapping him like this. Oh, nearly came a cropper, didn't I? So I think we are heading to the pirate ship. Ahoy, matey, swab the decks, etc, etc. Nah, mate. I'm interested in your shit, mate. What a little life. Now, these ninjas are a pain. Like a serious pain. Because they move around, like they can dodge your attack. I think they're the first enemy that can genuinely dodge your attack. So they're a bit nippy to catch them right. I would have liked to have dealt with you one at a time. We can't afford to lose a life here. Nice. Nice. That was more simple to execute than I was expecting, which is good. Simple is good. Especially when we are trying to preserve our lives here. Now, it only goes up to 9. Like, the number doesn't go into double figures in terms of like the amount of lives you can have. So I don't know, when you get to 9, does it carry them over or not? Shout out in the comments if you know. That would actually be quite useful information. So like, it says 9 but you've actually got 10. If you get another one after it says you've got 9. God, these are a pain. So dealt with at least. God, Beano. You think if you're in like a tough street gang that you'd get a better name than being named after a kid's comic, right? Like Beano or Dandy. Dandy. I'm not sure what people in Japan thought that, like, you know, kind of badasses like in the West actually the kind of things that the kind of people they actually are. I'm pretty sure there are no tough gangsters out there called Beano. So shout outs to you if you're in a gang and you're called Beano. Last time I did this playthrough, when, like I said, when I had the video quality problems, it was about this point when the batteries on my controller ran out and I had to run off and get some more. So it's kind of a good job I'm doing it again, really, because that's about as low professionalism as you can get. Doesn't get much worse than that. Man. Now that's kind of, that jumping knee that you can see there is executed by pulling down when you do a flying kick. And what it does is it pulls you. It doesn't matter what the enemy's doing; it will pull you in right in front of them in throw range. So then you can grab them and do what you like. So that's a useful thing to get your head around early, because the flying kick is essentially useless, but that is a really good tool for you know, executing max damage when you hit people, which is super important, certainly later on in the game. And here comes this weird alien thing. Like, this is clearly an homage to Aliens, right? I mean, you know, no complaints from me because it's one of my favourite films of all time. But you know, it's pretty cool the way they've done it. It's just, I suppose this level is supposed to be like the type of a theme park type of thing. Ah, I thought I was going to perfect it. Close enough though. Nice. Now this boss is a pain, so let's want to get this ninja out of the way before he appears, if we can. Alright, we've dealt with. So I think we're into Boss City, baby. Oh, that wasn't very cool, was it? So, like, as with all boss fights, max out your grand upper as much as possible. Just mash it. Seriously, that was a waste. Could have took more damage before I had to use that. Nearly there, baby. We got him. And that's it, man. That's the end of stage 3. So I'm going to end the video there. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you on the next stage of this Let's Play for stage 4 of Streets of Rage 2. Cheers. See you next time.